Hello and welcome to the Radical Exchanges podcast. My name is Jess Scully and I'm the Executive Director of Radical Exchange. We're a global network and a foundation that experiments in the spaces between democracy and markets, technology and culture. And we innovate in service of expanding community agency, building more resilient democracies, and creating more efficient ways to share and manage resources. So we invite you to join us in a spirit of radical experimentation and radical imagination as we prototype a future we can actually look forward to. In this episode, we're joined by Takahiro Anno, an AI engineer, an entrepreneur, science fiction writer, and now elected representative in Japan's House of Councillors. Takahiro Anno is the leader of Team Mirai, and in perhaps the most surprising political success story of 2025. Anno-san modelled an entirely new approach to campaigning and community building that used technology and AI to invite more people in to participate in their democracy. Takahiro Anno, welcome to Radical Exchanges.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Takahiro Anno, I want to take you back to a year and a half ago. You know, it's July 2024 and you're 33 years old. You've just run your very first election campaign, standing for election as the governor of Tokyo. And Anno-san, you're watching the vote count being tallied and you discover that you've received more than 150,000 votes. That's like 2% of the votes. Can you give us a sense of what you were feeling at that moment?
Yeah, in the Tokyo gubernatorial election, there had never been a candidate in their 30s who received more than 150k votes. And there had never been a candidate without prior political experience who achieved that number as well. Although I was not elected that election, I felt a strong sense of accomplishment in achieving this kind of unprecedented milestone.
And, you know, that's a pretty fantastic first attempt at politics by anyone's estimation. What did the result reveal to you about the process that you'd undertaken, that you'd invented really for this election, the process of broad listening that you had designed and implemented in the election campaign?
I feel that citizens accept our new approach, broad listening approach, to some extent. We discussed with citizens through an, for example, through an AI avatar, and we published our policies on GitHub and openly accepted pull requests or change proposals. There are more than 100 pull requests, and we merged over 80. In other words, during the campaign, we collected many ideas and continuously updated our 100-page policy book more than 80 times, just like open source software. The best part was that our policy manifesto was highly evaluated. According to a University Research Institute's ranking, our manifesto was rated actually, this was the highest score among all candidates. Considering that I had no prior experience in writing policies because I was a software engineer and sci-fi writer. I have never experienced this, but we can achieve this remarkable result. The technology for broad listening is still developing phase. But I'm sure, and citizens can believe that this approach has great potential.
I love these ideas and the terms, even the platforms and processes from open source software development like GitHub, pull requests, merging, these ideas that will be very familiar to people who have made online communities, who have made software, that these are just ways of integrating changes into the process, making your process transparent, and able to accept feedback, but actually quite unusual in the world of politics and government, actually. How does it change the relationship, you think, between the voter and the candidate when you have this open system and when you're asking for feedback in this very integrated way?
Yes, I deeply think so. Broad listening is a technology that uses AI to gather and organize the opinion of many people. In past elections, politicians mainly deliver their thoughts one way to voters. This is a kind of broadcasting model. It was common to use newspapers, radio, and television to broadcast their thoughts to voters. On the other hand, broad listening has rarely been practiced. Politicians can listen to voters, but in the past, now also, they politicians can listen to the voters at street speeches or gatherings, but the scale is limited. Now, with the help of large language models like ChatGPT, this can become possible on a much larger scale. In fact, there have already been lots of experiments in other countries, such as using software like Police or Talk to the City. And Taiwan, there is a platform named Join. Audrey Tan-san developed the platform. Those kinds of trials works to certain extent. I thought we should adopt this kind of approach, and this can change the relationship between voters and politicians. Now, voters don't not only listening politicians saying, but also they can say their thoughts to the politicians.
I mean, it is transformative, but I'm really curious about what started all of this. What inspired you as a creative person, a writer, an engineer, to run for political office? Was this something that you always imagined in your future, or did something change?
Actually, I have never imagined I will be a politician. Before becoming a politician, I worked as a software engineer, and I my work is fixing system bugs. And as for engineers, we naturally have a desire to fix bugs when we find the problem. And uh, at time, I realized that there are so many huge, serious bugs in society, in democracy, and I wanted to fix those bigger issues. And I feel that it sounds strange, maybe, but I feel that this is exactly what the job of a politician is for, and what I did in the past.
Love that. I love that you're just fixing bugs in the system, and that's how you kind of climbed
Yes,
the
exactly.
value chain and ended up in an elected position. I mean, I can see how that happened, but did your friends think you were crazy? I mean, how did people immediately rush to support you? Like, how did you break this to your friends, and did they back you? Did they come and campaign with you?
Um, many friends say to me, "Oh, you are crazy." Actually, but at the same time, they are really interested in my idea, and they supports me, surprisingly, since I had no backing from any political party or organization. So I reached out to my friends or acquaintances like classmates from high school or classmates from university and a colleague from the companies I had worked with. And most of them were around my age. My age is 34 now. This is part of generation raising children. So many were actually already thinking seriously about the society. And like many Japanese people, our generation, those in their 20s and 30s, often feels a lack of political efficacy or political confidence. Everyone recognizes this as a problem. We didn't believe that entering politics in the traditional usual way would change anything. But when I shared the idea of updating democracy using technology, broad listening ideas, and so on, everyone understood that this approach could make a real difference. So they believe me and they support me, so I can do political campaign.
That's fantastic. I mean, I think I feel a lot of people from younger generations would feel the same way about politics in their country, and that's why I'm so excited to share your story, because I can imagine this translating in so many different contexts. Let's talk a little bit about the avatar of AI Anno. Do you think having the accessibility of that character helped to reduce the distance between people who don't know you and you as the candidate, so that you could come to be well known?
Yes, I think so. During the campaign period, due to actually there is a legal restrictions in Japan, human can give street speeches only from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. However, AI can answer questions 24 hours a day. They don't sleep, and they. So we host our AI avatar on the YouTube, and using YouTube, there is a YouTube Live functions. So users can post the comments to the AI avatar, and the good thing is that they users can share their questions, so they can see each other's questions, and I believe this made voters feel easier to post their question to the AI. In addition to that, using AI avatar is not only just hosting the avatar, but also we can analyze the conversation log, and we can find the problem. There are lots of questions about blah blah blah. So maybe we should think about how to explain this issue. Such kind of learning process is going on using the AI avatar. So this is two-way communication, not only voters to the AI, but also voters to physical me through analyzing the log. So that this is really, really useful, impactful.
I mean, a very clever way to get around a loophole, to get through a loophole as well. Something stopping you from campaigning when people might be paying attention. So after the gubernatorial election, you decided that you could aim even higher than going to be, than nominating to be governor of Tokyo. Can you tell us about the birth of Digital Democracy 2030 and the birth of Team Mirai in 2025?
Sure. After Tokyo gubernatorial election, I was fortunate to receive public attention, and I was appointed as an advisor to GovTech Tokyo. This is an organization promoting Tokyo's digital transformation. This is a public organization. And I was also invited by various organizations and local governments to practice broad listening. However, as I became more involved in politics or public affairs, I realized that the influence of me is limited because I'm not elected officially. so in the end, it is I feel that it is a law that determines how things are decided, and I felt that nothing would truly change unless the national government itself changes. That is why I decided to run for MP, a member of parliament, since I felt at the same time, I felt it would be really, really difficult to pursue our projects within an existing party in the short term, because my notion is hardly understood by the existing politicians. So most of the politicians doesn't know about the idea of broad listening, or they don't use LLM. So it is really hard to make significant change in the existing parties. So I choose to found a new political party instead, and that is Team Mirai.
Team Mirai. So Team Mirai was born only in January 2025. I mean, not even a year old at the point that we're recording this podcast. And then you embarked on this.
May 2025.
Seriously? That's that recent? Wow. So only halfway through the year. Wow. Okay. So halfway through the year, you create Team Mirai, and then immediately you start running for the national election to claim a seat in the House of Councillors. It's a much, obviously there's so many more people to vote for you across Japan, and more people to engage with. How did you have to shift your approach? Did you have to reshape or retool broad listening to reach a broader audience, or how did you approach this campaign differently?
We had to change or we had to fix some problems we had, but surprisingly, the general approach was completely same. We focused on listening, so using broad listening tools. And one change we made is that using GitHub, using GitHub is very difficult for usual voters. Most citizens have never used such a software engineer oriented platform. However, we use AI to use GitHub. We how do I say? AI. There is a technology named MCP, a Model Context Protocol. Using that technology, AI can use other software like GitHub. So for citizens, they don't care about what the GitHub is or what the pull request is, but having a conversation with AI, through having a conversation with AI think about AI made pull requests for users based on their conversation. So we can remove some barrier to gathering the information, gathering the ideas. Actually, this summer, there are more than 10,000 pull requests we gathered. So this is actually 100 times much numbers than the last year.
That's huge.
And one example of the fixing.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose the way you looked at it was, removing the barriers and making it conversational. And if people feel that they're invited in to have a conversation, if they're asked questions, they've got ideas to contribute. It's just, you've got to, I suppose, simplify the way that you're doing the listening and gathering what become the pull requests, but people don't need to know that's where they're going. One of the things I love about...
Thank you for
Right?
Yeah.
One of the things I love about your approach is that you made your approach open source to all the other political parties. I mean, you said that the other political parties weren't really engaged with technology in the way that you were, but you weren't trying to say, this is just for Team Mirai. Why was it important for you? Why was it a really important part of your philosophy to be open source about the way that you approached this campaign?
Yeah, that's because being open is our value, our core value, one of our core value. So we would like to open as possible as we can, and I think practically this is the best way to have an impact for the small party. So you can leverage your software engineering power or your user interface, user experience design skill. We can leverage that power to make a substantial impact in the political field. And actually, after we release our software, many other politicians in different political party are really interested in our approach, and some of them already committed to use our software in the future. So this would be the unique and practical way to make a change.
I love that you're not just using it to get elected, which you did, and I would love if you have a moment to talk about that. But you're also trying to change the whole system, the way that politicians interact with Parliament, with the public. So now you're in Parliament, Anno-san. Like you were elected with 2% of the vote. You won a seat in the national parliament. Congratulations. I mean, that is enormous. What was the transition like moving from the campaign, from a social movement, into actually having to work within the structures of Parliament?
Yeah, I have challenges, and at the same time, I feel I have some power to ensure our goals. And for the challenging part, of course, we don't have experience to discuss many things in the parliament, so we should learn many things, many new things. But on the other hand, because I'm a member of the parliament. I can access many information, and there is lots of attention to me. So we can leverage those information and attention to make some real impact. So this is very good opportunity for us, and I think I believe I can make some innovation in using these 6 years for sure.
6 years is an amazing stretch of time when I think about how much you've achieved in 18 months or even just this year. What you can achieve in 6 years is extraordinary. What's your objective? What do you see as your mission? And how will you continue to make public participation and the feedback loop part of your process now that you're in this elected position?
Yeah, my goal is to make the society more. How do I say? I'd like to update our democracy system, because there is a lot of people who feels our voice is not reached to the politicians. But using current technology like AI, LLM, we can change the flow of the information. So we can design the new information flow, or so using that, maybe we can have a deliberate democracies in a large scale. So it is really hard to communicate, hard to understand each other. It requires you to time, cost, a lot of things, but technology can reduce those costs. So we can make more consensus, more agreement in the society. It will be beneficial for us, all of us, I think.
Well, Anno-san, it's incredibly inspiring learning more about what you've done in Japan and understanding that this is just the beginning of your journey to make democracy listen and not just broadcast, but broad listen. And I'm so excited to see where you take it from here. And I wish that every elected representative around the world was paying attention to the way that you're using these tools, because I think there's so much fear and understandable concern about the way that deep fakes or misinformation, the way that some AI tools could undermine or erode democracy. But there's also, from what you're showing us, ways to use these technologies to actually change the way people engage with democracy and to make democracy more transparent and more participatory. So thank you so much for your time and thank you for your work. And we're really excited to have you present your experience at the Future of Digital Democracy Learning from Ukraine in just a few days, but also to share your journey over the next 6 years. I hope Radical Exchange can be here alongside you, documenting and sharing your experience with the world. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm so excited to be here, and thank you for your great questions.